What's it hanging?
It's definitely Monday, it's no Sunday.
No, it's no Sunday. It's definitely Monday.
Hello and welcome to Monday's edition of Movie News here at MBE. I'm one of your co-hosts, Stephen John McLaughlin, and to my right, your left, it's John C. Walsh co-hosting too. We'd like to thank you once again for joining us on here on our YouTube channel and of course our Twitch stream. It's been a long Easter weekend here in the UK, John. I know you didn't have Saturday or Friday or Saturday off. I've been off since Thursday, so it's been kind of confusing. I had to tell myself this is not Sunday night.
Steve and I do that every show.
Yeah.
Every show I check.
Well, you're here all the time, John, so yes. I can understand why. But we're sitting next to each other.
Yes, we have one tripod at the moment, Steve, and I smashed the other tripod the other night. So I will endeavour to fix that. We will have two tripods
and
for Wednesday.
We must confirm, John, it wasn't in a rage you done this. It was an
accident.
No,
it was just packing it away.
Yeah.
It snapped. Japanese tripod.
John, there's something that came in today, a couple of hours ago, on We Got This Covered. And this is the headline and our thumbnail. It's Tobey Maguire and Sam Raimi reportedly
very rough-looking Tobey Maguire, might add. Looks as though he's been on the drink.
Yeah, he looks very emo.
Looks like a Scottish Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Rough and ready.
Yeah, Peter McParker.
Slightly alcoholic.
Reportedly eyed for new Spider-Man movie. Now, I'll just read a little bit of this, John, because it is quite a lengthy article, and at this stage everyone's expecting Tobey Maguire to show up in Spider-Man No Way Home. John, there's actually news about that. The guy that dubs Tobey Maguire's Portuguese voice has been called in.
Stephen, it's confirmed. In my mind, it's confirmed.
That's another box ticked as far as I'm concerned.
The stunt double was confirmed to have been on the set of No Way Home.
Now we're getting the dubbing
Andrew
guys.
Garfield's stunt double took a photograph of himself next to Tom Holland's stunt double on the fucking set.
These guys
so we
will
now
never
have
work again.
confirmation that the two other Spider-Man actors' stunt doubles were on the set with Tom Holland's stunt double. That's as good as confirmation. But during a pandemic, Stephen, they have guidelines and legislations in place on these sets. They are bulletproof. They don't want infection getting in and halting the production. These two guys ain't going there to have a little sightseeing trip. They're in there for a reason, because the actors are there, the characters are there. It's confirmed. They're in the movie for me. Yeah. I don't give a shit what Tom says. They're in that movie.
Can't wait. But John, Tobey Maguire to show up in Spider-Man No Way Home. Given the movie's multiverse premise, well, the director of cinema's first web-slinging trilogy is already hard at work on Marvel's Cinematic Universe blockbuster with Sam Raimi's Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness set to arrive next March. Oh, it's so long away. Naturally, this has led to speculation that Maguire could stick around the MCU for a little longer to reunite with Raimi in the Sorcerer Supreme sequel, but a new rumour is going one step further by claiming the duo may be collaborating on another feature-length Spider-Man pick, with Sony said to be eyeing the pair for the in-development project. It's unclear what the plot would entail, but the first two installments that Raimi and Maguire brought us still rank among the best comic book blockbusters ever made.
Conveniently forgetting about the third one.
Yeah, while the third was an underwhelming conclusion severely impacted by studio interference. John, take this with a pinch of salt. This is a rumour. We've got to address that first and foremost.
It's just a rumour.
Yeah, but with this saying Sony are said to be eyeing the pair for an in-development project, suggests to me that this might have been one of the conditions. I know I'm jumping ahead here and I'm kind of getting carried away, John, but I want to see this happening. I want to see Spider-Man 4 happening, because it was supposed to happen until they pulled the plug. But is this one of the conditions Sony put to Marvel when they were about to lose Tom Holland?
Yeah.
One of the conditions being we still want to produce Spider-Man films in our own universe as well. Is it a possibility? Do you think that's something that could be true? It's
certainly possible. I think the one thing going for this news, and look, the source is not the best, we'll admit that. It's a quiet news day. It's not the best source. I'll wait until we have multiple more reputable sources backing up these rumours. But we'll run with it just now, Stephen. The one thing that goes,
because we like the sound of it.
Yes, exactly. I'd love to see Sam Raimi and Tobey Maguire teaming up once again. It'd be great to see those two making another Spider-Man movie. The first two in the 2000s were, for me, still some of the best superhero comic book movies ever made. Certainly Spider-Man 2 for me still the greatest Spider-Man movie ever created.
Yeah.
Into the Spider-Verse probably second, and then you're looking at Tom Holland ones. I mean, they're pretty much the same for me. I can't really rank the two Tom Holland standalone Spider-Man movies. But the one thing going in its favour is the fact that it's a different studio. It's not Marvel Disney who hold the rights to Spider-Man. So we could, by all intents and purposes, have Tom Holland in the MCU. We could have Tobey Maguire using the multiverse, maybe popping up in Spider-Man 3 or No Way Home, finding himself in Multiverse of Madness and then circumventing that into another universe, the Sony universe with Morbius, with Venom. We could see Raimi doing a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie, but I don't know how likely that is. I don't know if he's contractually obliged to work for Marvel Disney. He's on board for, what is he on board for? Multiverse of Madness, funnily enough, so that'd be another great little connection. He could be working with Tobey on that and then go off and do another project. I don't know how his contract's looking with Disney Marvel. I don't assume he'll have more than one picture, so he could go off and work with Sony. I personally would love to see it. I'd love to see Tobey Maguire suiting up again. Stephen, I'd love to see a Spider-Man movie akin to what Snyder gave us with Ben Affleck's Batman. A grizzled sort of older version who's been round the block more than a few times. He's wise and he's a different version. All the Spider-Man versions we've seen, they've all been young, bright-eyed, green sort of characters.
It would be a contrast, wouldn't it? You know, nobody would get confused with Tom Holland's Spider-Man up against Tobey Maguire's aged Peter Parker. No one would be confused with that. I would like to see both these characters very much similar to obviously the Joker and Snyder's Joker as well. Running parallel with each other. No one was confused with Joaquin Phoenix's performance and your man
Andrew Garfield.
No, the one that played
Jared Leto.
Jared Leto. Yeah. No one was questioning that and getting confused about it. I can see it working.
Steve, we've got a comment here. Didn't Vulture show up at the end of Morbius' trailer? I didn't see that. I may have to go back and watch that. I'm absolutely convinced that Morbius will be returning. Not returning. He's only got one movie. It's been delayed about 50 million times. I'm convinced that character will be making the jump over to the MCU. I can't think of a better foil for Blade than Morbius. Blade's a vampire hunter. Morbius is a vampire. You've got Jared Leto. You've got Mahershala Ali. Yeah. 2 Oscar-winning actors. I think it'd be blasphemy not to make that jump. I cannot imagine Sony not try to force Marvel Disney's hand with a shared universe when they were renegotiating that deal for Tom Holland. I can't imagine them sitting at the table, holding all of the cards. Tom Holland's an important sort of part of Phase 4 and beyond for Marvel. They know that. Surely they must have negotiated like a Venom Morbius potentially jumping over.
I think so, John. I think that would have been some of the sort of creases they had to iron out. When it was all up in the air at one point, you remember, John, over a year ago, it looked like Tom Holland was done. I mean, you were very upset about it. I remember talking to you about it. And I think there's a lot of things, and it's not just always about money. It's about the rights and the images, and it's all about exposure and this film and etc. And you're right, John, it's not just Spider-Man we've got to take on board. It's the Spider-Man villains as well that have already participated in the MCU that Sony might fancy their chances bringing over to their own Sonyverse as well. So you've got to take that into consideration. But I do want to see a Spider-Man 4. I was very disappointed with Spider-Man 3 when it came out in 2007 or whenever it was. It was much a letdown as
it deserved better, Stephen.
Yeah, I think it's, and I don't think it's just because the first 2 films were outstanding. That's still some of the best comic book films. Those Spider-Man 1, 2, particularly the second one.
What was the one with Nickelback? Was that Spider-Man 2? And they say that a hero can say
was that the second one? I can't remember.
I'm going to stand here and wait. Shite.
Yeah. I don't like Nickelback, John. I'll put it out there. I did like that whole Deadpool thing. We did the trailer, one of the first trailer reactions we did. It was very funny.
Once Upon a Deadpool, it was a remake for Christmas. The PG-13. Once Disney had got their hands on it,
I do want to see it, John. I do want to see Tobey Maguire. I mean, we're kind of forgetting and we're leaving out Andrew Garfield here. He did one good Spider-Man film. The second one was a shit show. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
it was again studio interference.
Do you agree with Grievous's comment here that he wonders whether Morbius will be crossover or whether Venom? Is he saying Venom? He wonders if Morbius will stay as a standalone, or no, Venom will stay as a standalone, and whether Morbius will be crossover. Do you want to see that? Do you want to see Tom Hardy hitting the MCU? Because look, Stephen, he's a great actor. He's got chops. It was a very good performance as Eddie Brock. I liked the movie. It was a movie of 2 halves.
It was good. I liked it, John. I think at this moment he's not committed to any sort of connection with the MCU. Whereas I'm on board. I'm on board. Yeah, I'm on board
Circus.
with you in regards to Morbius. I think there's potential there to have a crossover with him and Blade.
Yeah.
That is a great opportunity, and it makes sense as well. It's not just fan service or for convenience sake. It would make a great story as well.
Steve,
and you're getting those two actors, as you said, up against each other, John.
It just makes sense, doesn't it, for Morbius? I think, my personal opinion, if Venom's going to make the jump over to the MCU, then it's going to be Spider-Man No Way Home. If he doesn't appear in a sort of Sinister Six kind of movie, when you've got multiverse versions of Electro and all of these other Doc Ock coming back and stuff like that. Apparently Green Goblin's not coming back, which is disappointing.
Yeah.
But if you can't make that jump when we're doing multiverse concepts, different versions of characters, I don't see him ever jumping over to the MCU at that point. I personally would like to see it. I think tonally it kind of matches the MCU. It wasn't dark and gritty, it was a kind of funny in moments action, bog standard action movie really, but Tom Holland's great. I'd love to see it. He says Deadpool's allowed to join the MCU, rated R, and everything should be game. Exactly. Yeah, I agree. Deadpool is just tonally miles away from the MCU. It's R rated. I don't know how the hell they're going to mesh that Ryan Reynolds character into the MCU. If they make that work, then surely Eddie Brock, Tom Hardy and Morbius can make the jump. I'm convinced Morbius is doing it. Absolutely convinced.
John, I think as well that Disney, particularly Disney, because they hold the cards, are very conscious of what the fans are wanting and what they expect tonally.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we're getting to see, we talked about it on Friday night with Falcon the Winter Soldier's violence in a television show. That's surprising for a Disney Plus production to be put out there. I think so anyway. I always thought when we saw Daredevil, etc. on Netflix, that is as violent as it would get because it was on Netflix. And Disney wouldn't go there. They would not touch that kind of borderline R-rated PG-13.
Well, he pushes the boundaries, though, to be fair to Kevin.
And I think that's the way to do it. I think that's them starting to sort of change sneakily, the tone for certain characters.
They set it up with this whole Star thing on Disney Plus. They were sort of conditioning the fan base to R-rated content.
Yeah, it's a good way to do it.
Shaking up the sort of what you're getting with Disney, because a lot of people were... I'm trying to get this mouse cursor to appear because we've got another comment. I cannot find it. I've got too many monitors for my own good. One's out of sight because of the light. But they're shaking it up, Steve, with the whole R-rated thing. I think they're trying to condition us into different content. And it's a good thing.
Yeah.
We need to see the MCU having some darkness. Sometimes, was it Campy? It says it's the Marvel Cinematic Universe of fake deaths or something like that.
Yeah.
It's all too airy. The good guys always seem to survive. Even when they die, they come back. Sometimes you need some darkness injected. Just shows how crazy the movie business is with rights and shit. It must be a headache for all the studios. Exactly. Yeah. I'm still looking for a Hulk standalone movie.
John, I was going to mention that.
Universal has the rights. So
I saw Ruffalo was on... with David Schwimmer on the Graham Norton show, and he was I think he might have let a cat out the bag that it could be more appearances for him as Bruce Banner. I would like to see a standalone, John, and I always said maybe a couple of years ago I don't want to see it anytime soon, but I think I'm coming round to that fact now that I do want to see it because I've not seen him for a while now. Well,
they famously handled it, Stephen, didn't they? His backstory sneakily over 3 movies. I think it was Ragnarok, Infinity War, Endgame. They started off all Hulk and Ragnarok, all Bruce and Infinity War, and it was the combination of the two and that evolution, him getting to control the power. So, but I'd still be game for a stand. I love Mark Ruffalo. I think he's a great dude.
I love the Incredible Hulk as well, John. I think it's a great
She-Hulk,
story.
Stephen could pop up She-Hulk. Is it his cousin or something? I don't know.
Yeah, I'd rather he had his own film, John. I think he's done enough on the back of other characters' films and stuff like that, Thor, etc. I think Ruffalo deserves it. I think the character deserves it as well.
I think Bruce Banner's bigger than She-Hulk as well, being set up for She-Hulk. It's like the Harley Quinn Joker thing again in Suicide Squad. The main character shouldn't be a side character,
No, definitely not. But we're going to move on now.
Still reason about that.
Our next topic is coming in from Screen Rant. Dune. Dune's HBO Max release plan could change after GVK. Do we say that? GVK? Godzilla v Kong, success now. John, that film's doing a lot better than a lot of people are giving it credit for. Stephen, are you going to go and see Godzilla
v Kong when the theatres open up? It looks like we're getting back to some normality down in England next week, John, next Monday. We will follow suit within a week, so
what I'll say
theatres could be opened.
If I'm going to see the film, it will be in a cinema. If I'm going to see the film, I am not going to watch it on a streaming platform. It's not designed for television.
It's not.
It's clearly not. Does it? You know, a lot of films are. It's designed. You know, it's an epic, big, spectacular visual feast, and you don't want to see that on television. You want to see that on the biggest screen possible and the biggest speakers you can find as well, John. Because
next week,
if you're asking me if I'm going to see it, I'm more likely to see it in the cinema. But John, Godzilla v Kong's performance also proves that film can perform well at the box office while still being released on HBO Max. It will all depend on whether or not Warner Brothers wants to go that extra mile and push for as much box office impact as possible. With Dune only covering the first half of the original novel, Warner Brothers may want to release the film exclusively after all. The studio is also producing a spin-off series for HBO Max, Dune: The Sisterhood. Sounds terrible. And with multiple books in the Dune series.
That's an interesting thing, the Sisterhood though, Stephen. That's like a sort of quasi-religious group.
Yeah. Who
have spread out throughout the galaxy, and they're kind of... It's interesting, that group's quite interesting in the novel, to be fair. Yeah,
there's multiple books in the Dune series, and there is a huge potential for a year-long franchise. Luckily for Warner Brothers and Legendary, they still have a few months to decide, John. But how do you think this will go?
Stephen, I absolutely think the movie deserves to have a sole theatrical release if the climate's there for it, if the COVID stuff is died down, we've got vaccines sorted out. We've already seen the likes of Campea and other people in their 40s and stuff like that over in the States getting vaccinated, so it's looking as though they're rattling through the vaccinations at quite a rate, quicker than even us.
Yeah.
So if they're in a position in enough markets to get this movie out in a it doesn't matter over here, we don't have HBO Max, but if they can do it, then I'd get it out in theatres rapid. We've seen it with Godzilla v Kong, all the IMAX bookings and stuff like that, Tenet as well.
Yeah.
There's a demand over in the States to see these movies in theatres still, clearly. I don't know if it's enough numbers to make a $200 million budget a profit. I don't know if there's enough money in the theatres to make it a profit, but maybe, I don't know. Steve, I want to see it in the theatres. I want it for Villeneuve. He says it's his biggest movie to date, and this is a guy who's done Arrival, I'm sure. I think he done, so one with Benicio del Toro, I'm blanking on it, and it's absolutely disgraceful. Sicario.
No, yeah.
And he done Blade Runner 2049, so this guy's done some huge releases. So for him to say this is his biggest scaled movie, this deserves to be in a theatre for that guy's blood, sweat and tears. For all the actors, it doesn't belong in a streaming service. It's blasphemy. No. He wrote an open letter destroying the AT&T, the owners of Warner Media, for putting it onto a streaming service without even speaking to him. So for me, it deserves to be in a theatre. I hope it does. Hope for the success of the Godzilla v Kong, the sort of huge hit over in China, probably surprise, making $70 million or something in the first week, huge chunk of that international share. Hopefully that will twist their arms to do the same with this, get it out in theatres, and then you can put it out in the fucking streaming service a week later, 2 weeks later. You can shorten the theatrical window if you really want to.
Yeah, exactly.
Just get it out in the theatres first, man.
Yeah.
Over here anyway, I'm going to see that.
Well, again, John, it's the same line of question you asked me previously. I want to see this film in the cinema. I don't want to see it on a streaming platform. It's made for the big screen. It's going to be bombastic. It's going to be...
Steve, it's the biggest cinematic project since Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And Harry Potter. That's the scale of this, man. If they get it right.
That's why Villeneuve's saying this, because it's a big production, John. It's a massive cast. And when I say massive cast, I mean actual actors. Physically and obviously for stature as well, John. It's Oscar Isaac. You know, the list just goes on. It's
no, Brolin's not in it. He's not in it.
Is he not?
Is he in it?
I think Brolin is in it. Yeah, Brolin's in it. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I remember the picture.
Chalamet, Zendaya, Jason Momoa.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
It's John. It's going to be spectacular, and it's funny because when we do get back to the cinema and we renew our limited pass, it's going to be. I wonder what film is going to be the first film we see. I wonder if it will be Godzilla or not.
Well, Stephen, depending on when they open up, it could be Godzilla. Then I think it will probably be. When's No Time to Die coming out? I need to search it up.
That's been
really
moved
looking forward to that.
We've talked about it, but it's been moved that much. I can't remember.
Shang-Chi, you've got so many movies coming out at the end of this year. If we get our shit together with the vaccines, the pandemic gets what, we could be watching a good dozen high-class movies in the last 4 or 5 months of this year. like so of June. I'm doing it now. I'm doing fucking Americanized speech. June. We call it June over here. And seeing as though we do speak the Queen's English, despite being Scottish and people criticising our accents and pronunciations of words, June is actually correct. That's the correct way to say the word. It's not Dune, it's fucking June. Get that out of the way. I'm swearing, I know, I understand. We just let things go now. We don't care.
No.
You've got June, man. You've got No Time to Die. All those Marvel movies, Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals. There's some amount of movies come out this year.
Spider-Man,
Spider-Man, No Way Home. So it's going to be an incredible end to the year.
Yeah.
West Side Story,
John, and a Loki trailer's dropped as well.
Oh, yeah, that's it, man.
And it's only about a month or two away. I think it's next month, is it not? Or is it June? I can't remember.
Well, yeah, we're getting Falcon, then I think it goes into What If, and then it's Loki.
Yeah. So,
or is it Loki then What If? I don't know.
It's going to be some year, John, isn't it, with all these releases? And I think considering since the pandemic, our channel's been sort of ticking away anyway. But I think obviously, once these big releases are out, there's going to be more to talk about.
Yeah,
it has been a struggle at times. It definitely has been a struggle at times to find movie news, and when things do happen like Godzilla v Kong, that seems to be all the news. So when you try to obviously divide it up into certain topics, it's very tough because all the news at the moment is on Godzilla v Kong.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to move into. That's what we're going to move into next, John. It's all about Max Borenstein, a recent interview with Collider. Reporter Stephen Weintraub, Frosty, asked Borenstein if there was ever plans after Godzilla v Kong in the development stage, or if this was the peak of the franchise. Borenstein says the main goal of getting Godzilla and Kong together on a film was the focus, but doesn't rule out the possibility of more films in the franchise. He doesn't indicate if he is attached to any of the projects within the universe, but is excited at where it could go. This is coming in from Screen Rant, by the way. Borenstein said, hopefully there will be, I have no idea, if not the peak, then the plateau that everyone has been aiming for. How does this guy speak? This is a point that has been a part of the ambition since the beginning, so I look forward to whatever the next iteration of this franchise is. This has certainly been getting these two characters, like the Avengers, you build to that place. That's not to say there aren't future movies that bring everyone together, John. I actually assumed this was sort of the peak moment. This film is the sort of building towards,
Stephen, I've not seen it yet, but I hope I'm right when I say the two of them ain't dying. I've not seen it yet. I don't want it spoiled. I've managed to avoid the spoilers. I think the two of them will get through. I think we'll see Kong survive. I think we'll see Godzilla survive. I think Mecha Godzilla. This is from my uneducated, unseen eyes. I think Mecha will end up being the villain of the piece. The two will go away. It says one would be left standing. There's no fucking... I said it before, Steve. No chance they're going to throw away box office gold with these two characters. King Kong and Godzilla within this cinematic universe, they're absolute gold. They're guaranteeing at least $200 million, $300 million. If it's shit, if it's really good, it could hit $1 billion. I'm not going to throw that away. So, Welsh are saying is the sort of zenith for this particular part of the story. I'm absolutely convinced we'll get sequels, man. I'm convinced of it, man. That's not to say there aren't future movies, but there will be future movies, man. They'll do it. And if one of them died, they'll fucking write it so that they come back. It's guaranteed.
I'll do a Groot and just make a baby one.
You have to, man. You can't throw away Godzilla. There's been how many Godzilla movies have we had, Steve? We've had about 10 or something. Yeah. There's been about 4 in the last decade, 2 decades, and then we had all those ones in the 50s, 60s. This character was born out of World War II. Just after World War II, nukes going off. The US letting off nukes.
Well, it doesn't say
going on for 100 years.
Yeah, I mean, I think the way that the article is portraying it might be a little bit misleading. They're talking about the obviously overall universe of these characters rather than a straight sequel for Godzilla and Kong again or anything like that. But John, it's a cash cow, and it would be very silly to sort of burn your bridges, and I think it'll be very interesting to see where they take it. And will they have a bit of a break between this film's release and moving forward after that?
I think they will.
I think they will as well. I think people need room to breathe after the sort of hype.
Not just that, Steve, it's the climate, financial climate. These studios get loans from financial organisations to fund these movies. the money ain't there just now because of the pandemic. They have to justify it with guaranteeing money. Can they guarantee money with a sequel? Not right now, I don't think. I think in 2-3 years, absolutely. So there will be a break. We've got a comic, Stephen Ember Power. He needs a cameo at least. The very least, Tobey needs. I agree. He does need a cameo.
Oh, no. I don't want him to have a cameo.
At the very least, though, Stephen.
Yeah.
The least. He has to be in the movie. He must be in the movie. You cannot make a multiverse Spider-Man movie. It's not confirmed it is, but it will be.
I only like that if he's got a cameo in No Way Home and he's got bigger involvement in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. That's the only way I'll accept that.
Involved. It just makes sense, doesn't it? Sam working with Tobey again, hands on. It's his character, that Spider-Man iteration. Yeah. I agree. At the very least, needs a cameo. I want a full-fledged role, though. I want him to be a joint lead with Andrew Garfield and Tom Holland. I want it to be a Into the Spider-Verse meets live action meets Sinister Six. That's what I want. But I don't get what I want. Because I wanted Doctor Strange and WandaVision. And Feige, but you didn't give me him.
But thanks for the comment anyway, Ember. We're going to move on to our final topic, and this is coming in from livemint.com, and it's all about Ajay Devgn's RRR sales rights for 350 crore, John. I think you were going to work out what 350 crore.
I didn't get around to that, Steve.
No, that's okay. Well, I'll
just now.
I'll read this little bit of the article, John. Anyway, I'm not going to read the whole article. You can go and visit livemint.com for the full article. But director SS Rajamouli's RRR, the film that will see Hindi, Tamil, Kannada,
$3 million, Stephen.
Malayalam and Telugu versions on.
You what?
Theatrical release has already made 350 crore by selling theatrical satellite TV and digital streaming rights across all languages to Penn Studios. The film is slated for release on the 13th of October. Yeah?
This ain't making sense, Stephen.
Yeah.
It says £3 billion. £3
billion?
No way is it £3 billion. For fucking selling rights. No chance. Someone's made a mistake. No chance. No chance, man. The greatest fucking grossing movie of all time is Avatar just now with 2.8 something billion. They ain't paid $3 billion for rights. They've made a mistake.
Yeah, I would.
Or this translation.
Maybe someone can help us out then in the comment section, John. But actor Ajay Devgn, who plays a freedom fighter, has also unveiled his first look in Bahubali director Rajamouli's upcoming RRR. In the film, he features alongside Ram Charan and GRNTR. I hope I said that right, John. RRR is a fictional story of India's freedom fighters Alluri Sitarama Raju and Kumaram Bhim, who fought against the British Raj and Nizam of Hyderabad, respectively. John, this is a film that we're both looking forward to seeing.
Get out the British.
We did the... What was that called again? That animated poster thing? I can't remember what it's called.
It was a motion poster for Ajay Devgn in RRR. Yes, Stephen, it's great. The Indians know how to promote a movie. Western side of things can really learn a lot from these Indian film industries. Tollywood, Collywood, Bollywood, they can learn from them all. They know how to promote a movie, build the anticipation, split introductory sort of trailers for Ramaraju and Beam in this movie, a standalone motion poster trailer. We've not even got an official trailer yet, and the anticipation, I'm doing Sean Connery, shaken, not stirred. The name's Bond, James Bond. The anticipation is off the charts. Stephen, could you imagine I'm doing this for individual characters in the Avengers? Could you imagine us getting a motion poster trailer for Captain America and Endgame?
Yeah.
This is what they do. They know how to build movies. They're absolute dynamite at building movies. I'm excited for this movie, man. I don't even have a clue what the story's about or nothing. I don't know if it's fictional, but it says Rajamouli's
it's a fictional story, John, yeah.
Well, Stephen, and that gives you more freedom to do what you want with it then, doesn't it? Because you're not sort of, I don't know, beholden to actual historical events and pissing off relatives. I cannot get an actual verified source for what 350 crore equals in pounds. It is not $3 million. Not a chance. It's probably a lot of money though. That's what I would say.
John, I'm just thinking when I clip this, whether or not I should have that as the sort of headline. What is 350 crore?
It's 350 crores, £3 billion.
Yeah.
It's not. It definitely isn't.
Yeah, John, but we talked about it when we did obviously the reaction as well for the motion poster, and it was it's one of those things. You're absolutely right. I think a lot of the Western studios could learn a lot from that sort of side of promotions. But then again, people moan about TV spots, that there might be too much going on. But this is at the sort of front end before official trailers. It's not at the tail end when you've already seen the teaser trailer, the official trailer, and then those silly little TV spots that you get that show you everything you've already seen.
It doesn't give you anything away.
Yeah, exactly.
Posters, it's just a little still zoomed straight shot with movement, slight movement. You've seen it with Devgn in that motion poster. He's sort of doing that. It gives nothing away. It's a nice little aesthetic for the movie. It's brilliant the way they promote it. I love it. So I'm looking forward to this Triple R. This is good news. I didn't even get into the story, Steve, and the fact they've already sold rights. They've made money. Rajamouli's made money by selling the sort of distribution rights already. Great news for the movie. It's already making money. It's not even out in the theatres yet. So I'm excited for it. Looking forward to it, man. I liked Bahubali, the conclusion, the beginning. I've done that. Arse from elbow there, it doesn't matter.
But that's probably the way you liked it. The second one first.
Stephen, I did like the second one because that's when Bilal Deva got his comeuppance. I love Rana Dagabati. I think he's a great actor. Got one of the best beards that's ever been put to cinema. He's in ridiculous shape. He was in better shape than Prabhas, let's be honest, and Prabhas was a unit. So I did prefer that second movie. I like his style. I'm looking forward to this. They built it really, really well. So things can only get better for that movie, man, because it's already made the moors, and it'll make even more when it hits the theatres. I'm absolutely certain, Steve, if this movie hits the theatres over here, this is the final thing I'll say, I will go and watch that movie in a theatre over here. That demands to be seen on a big screen as well. But definitely. Look, that's going to round the show up. What is your thoughts on the array of topics we touched on? Do you want to see a standalone Tobey Maguire movie with the great Sam Raimi? Do you want to see him getting his teeth into that character? Doesn't even have to be a standalone Spider-Man movie. The rumours are out there. Could it be Multiverse of Madness? Could he be working with Tobey again in that movie? A little cameo in No Way Home. Fuller, expansive role in Multiverse of Madness. Do you want to see it? That's what I'm saying. If you don't, you're not in the right channel. Get the fuck out. What's your thoughts on Dune? Yeah, potentially not going on HBO Max. It looks like Godzilla v Kong has shook up the sort of executive at Warner Brothers. They realised that shock horror, releasing a movie in the theatres, can make more fucking money than putting it on a streaming service that no one subscribed to. What's your thoughts on that? What do you make about Godzilla v Kong? Will there be any more sequels? And Triple R already make money just off of distribution rights. Well done, SS Rajamouli. What's your thoughts on that? You can comment below if you've got anything to say at all. You can also like the video if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see our ugly mushies. Once again, it'll not be like this again. It'll be back to the split screen. I actually prefer this, Stephen, to be honest. Although you have to make eye contact, Stephen. Yeah. And it's not normal for us because we are used to looking into cameras.
Yeah, I think, John, if we had a wider sort of shot, it would work well.
Yes, it's like you're looking right on. How you doing, Steve? No, it's like, Stephen, it's like Falcon and the Winter Soldier. A little bit closer. Do you want? Oh, all right. A little bit closer. That's what it's like. It's like the group therapy session between Bucky, James Buchanan and Sam Wilson. But look, man, if you want to subscribe, you'll get it. If you want to hit the follow button on Twitch, you'll get us there as well. So look, if you do, we'll see you. If you don't, that's fine. Bye-bye. I don't know if it's worked, Stephen. Let's just check OBS. Has it worked? Yes, the end credits are on. Bye-bye, guys.